Hello everyone, my name is Jeff, and this is the Promised Neverland Episode 5 review. With me, as always, are Coby and Torie. Welcome to the show, guys.
Wait a second. Now I know you're lying because...
Hey guys, it's me, Coby.
No,
It's me, Coby. That was a real good intro, Jeff. I like that you do the intro every time. I think it's a good combo, You do the intro, I do the outro, right?
So now...
Hey, it's me, I'm Coby.
Now you're lying and making a very bad impersonation of Coby.
I don't know what you're talking about, Torie.
Oh, I think everyone knows what you're talking about right now.
Yeah, Torie, you're going crazy. It's 2 against 1 here. And you're
your voice isn't even changing that much.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Hey there, I'm Coby.
When did Coby become Canadian?
Oh, you don't you know? I am from Ontario.
Ontario.
That's a good one, Coby. So let's talk about the Promised Neverland episode 5.
Okay, just you and me though, not Coby.
Well, that's really harsh to Coby, but okay. Oh, hey guys, I don't want to be shut out of the conversation. Shut up, Coby.
All right, cool.
That's because of Torie. That's because I told you to shut up because of Torie. Sorry, Coby. Oh, it's okay. I'll be here. Maybe he'll come back in the background in the end. Who knows? There's a lot to take in this episode. It's a really good episode. So let's just jump right into it. At the end of the last episode, we were hanging with a cliffhanger where Norman accuses Ray of being the spy. The spy that we've been looking for this whole time was right underneath our noses. And this episode basically confirms all of that stuff. So the whole first part of this episode is Ray and Norman discussing the fact that he's a spy and all the things that have all the consequences of that, all the implications of that. So first and foremost, we learned that Norman set a trap for all 3 of them, Ray, Dawn, and Gilda. He actually told Ray different locations than what he actually told Dawn and Gilda. So Dawn and Gilda's locations apparently were not scattered out. And so he can only assume that since the only rope that is missing is from Dawn's bed, that Ray is in fact the spy. And Ray's all like, oh, you got me.
Okay, so let me ask this. Why did Ray do that?
Because he wanted to throw suspicion off himself.
But after that, he pretty much, tells everybody he's a spy.
Okay, so I think we can shelve that discussion once we've got all the Ray stuff out in the open.
Okay.
So basically, Ray admits to Norman that he is in fact the spy that they've been looking for. And Norman's all like, oh my god, you're the spy. How long have you been the spy for? And Ray's like, for a long time, Norman. And Norman's like, well, that's cool. It's fine. I'll let you stay with us under 3 conditions. 1, you have to continue hanging out with us, and you have to guarantee our safety. 2, you have to, what was the second one? Give us all the information you have. And 3, you have to join our side. Basically, Norman is asking Ray to be their double agent. So he can continue being a double agent for Mom, while at the same time being a double agent for them. So Norman is asking him to play both sides at this point.
Which I don't see why there would be any reason not to.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good move. It's a good deal for Ray. Good deal for Norman. And Norman tells Ray, I want to believe in you like Emma believes in you, because I want to believe that we were friends before all this happened, so I really hope that you're going to come through and pull through for this. And then Ray's like, you should have left me behind and stuff. That would have been a lot better. But then we learn a little bit more about Ray's side and the fact that he's actually been a spy for Mom for 6 years. So he's known for much longer than when they discovered, than when Norman and Emma discovered the whole situation when they went to the gate. So I was right.
You were right. Wait, were you right? I could have sworn you had the theory where he found out short, at the beginning of this, and Coby was the one that said that he knew it all along.
No, Coby, I believe. Well, hey guys, it's me, Coby. Yeah, I just want to jump in here. I want to say that my theory was that he learned about the gate, just before they learned about the gate. And then he wanted to strike a deal with them or something like that. I don't know. I'm wrong, though. And Jeff's right. Thanks, Coby. I mean, because I remember being suspicious of Ray from the beginning when he... Because remember, I don't know, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in the past episode.
You did. You mentioned it last episode about his
he-
answer to that question.
Well, yeah, and also he was acting just really strange throughout the whole season, particularly when, well, first of all, he was, again, and it's revealed in this episode, he's basically the one that set them up to discover the truth by hiding the bunny and telling them, I think you guys can make it if you go. And so I think I kind of suspected him from the beginning because of the way he was, also the way they were kind of like framing him in the shots. Like when in the first episode, when Norman and Emma run out to the gate, the camera cuts to Ray just kind of like watching them calmly out through the window. Like, you know what I mean? Like it kind of seemed like he knew more than what he was letting on. And also when Norman and Emma come back from that incident and they're all kind of disheveled and kind of stressed out, Ray's like, did you find anything out? What's going on? And then they're like, oh yeah, no, it's all good, man. And then they go to the rooms. And then Ray's like, just kind of like looking at them calmly, you know? I think he'd have a different reaction if he genuinely cared about what was going on. Like, hey, did you guys get the fucking bunny to Connie yet? Or I don't know. Anyways, I'm just saying I suspected him for a while. So It's good to know that I was right.
Okay. I like to give props where props are given, so
Give those props.
Here's some props. Here's some background drop props.
Okay.
But what I'm wondering, if he's known for 6 years, that's a long time to keep something from somebody. Why did he tell them now? Do you think it was just because of the opportunity with the bunny that it gave him a reason to actually go see what's happening? Or was it because he knew that they were going to be leaving soon? Which I think only gives them 2 months from that time, right? Before they leave, or at least when they suspect they'll leave. So,
well, let's get into this a little bit more. So, because Ray actually explains like why he's been a spy for so long, and how he made the deal with Mom. So basically, he's been a spy for a very long time. He mentions that, and he also says, "I was a spy for Mom because, apparently he approached her with the deal, like, I will cooperate with you, and I will, as long as you don't ship me out early." And in return for being a faithful and loyal spy to you, I want little rewards. And so he says he wants like random junk, basically to probe the outside world and to figure out, you know, what the outside world is like, what he could get, and what's impossible to get. And all this was actually in service for this very escape that they're planning right now.
but I wonder, which I'm sure they'll get to later on, how did he find out about all this?
Yeah, that was my question as well, is how did he find out? And at the end of all this, we see Ray, he says, all right, I'll continue to work with you guys, but under one condition. I want all of you guys, I'll work with you and pretend that we're going to go ahead with your plan of escaping with everyone, but in the end, just ditch them. So that's just us. If we're going to bring anyone else, we can bring Dawn and Gilda, but it basically has to be just us 5. And Ray's like, you know, the reason I clued you in on discovering the truth was for you, because I wanted you guys to survive with me. So it's kind of like Ray's kind of like, yeah, I mean, I'm a spy, but I was a good guy, and I wanted you guys to survive with me. And Norman's like, Norman begrudgingly agrees. And just like that, that's the end of the meeting. Ray walks out, and Ray has like this sinister smile on his face, like, hey, got him. And then Norman's like thinking like, oh, what have I done? And then just at the very end of this long scene, Norman's like, oh, I found something. Like he has like this smile on his face, and he closes his mouth, like kind of like he has like an aha moment. And then Ray kind of gives like a sneer, like shit, like his sneering, his condescending smile goes away and gives way to an expression of like I don't know, anger maybe, annoyance. So that's that whole scene. I've laid it all out now. So let's talk more about these Ray theories that we have.
Okay. Well, first off,
Ray questions.
Since you just brought that ending to that scene, what do you think is going through their minds right now? Like the sneer, the closing his mouth, and that panic. I don't know if it's panic or like shocking or even happy. I can't really figure out his face.
I took Norman's, or I perceived his reaction as an epiphany or something like that. Like he was stressed out and he was racking his brain like, oh my god, what does all this mean? Ray's a double agent. Is he actually on our side or is he not on our side? And then he goes, oh, I know how we're going to do all this. So I think Norman in this show is kind of the character that's always thinking one step ahead, and he's going to reveal his plan sooner or later. And we're going to find out how he's actually going to tie all this together. Because at the end of the day, his motivation is Emma's happiness. He likes Emma, right? He's doing all this because of Emma. So, and I don't think he's going to go ahead with Ray's plan of ditching him the last moment, because that's not what Emma wants. Emma told him specifically, everyone's going to make it out alive. And even though Ray's throwing in the wrench in the situation, Norman is smart enough to try and overcome that, and I think he has a plan. And that expression that Ray has is he's probably acknowledging that as well. He's like, well, shit, Norman's really smart. I think he's found a way to outsmart Ray, because I think at the end of the day, Ray is actually, he kind of spun that out of his ass last minute. The reason he ratted out Dawn and the reason he threw shade off himself as being a spy in the first place was because him being found out was not part of the plan. But because he was found out, he needs to go along with that. There's no way of denying it. So he needs to spin that to where he's still on their side. So I think ultimately he's still an agent of Mom, at least for now.
So do you think their theory for him being the traitor but not the enemy, you think that's incorrect?
I think that's incorrect. I think he is actually the traitor. But that being said, I think that there is a chance that he's going to turn around anyways and actually be not the enemy that they seek out.
But you currently think he's still the enemy?
I think so, yeah.
Because, I mean, when we're talking about Ray theories, he repeatedly tells them, and it's easy to say this, but really there's no proof up until now, that he's been doing all of this for 6 years to protect them. Like, he doesn't say them two specifically, but that's what he means, that he's been doing it to protect them. And so I wonder if there was an event or if there was a moment in the past where they could have gotten shipped out easily, or if they could have, something could have happened where they would have sacrificed their life, and that's why he made that deal.
I don't know. I mean, I definitely see Ray as a self-preservationist. I'm actually not sure if he genuinely cares about Norman and Emma. I guess we'll see as the story goes on. There's another scene that we have to discuss in this episode that I think kind of brings this more into full circle, and it'll add more meat to this discussion. So I want to get to that scene.
Okay.
But anyways, the next scene is actually Ray reporting in to Mom, and sure enough, Ray actually doesn't tell her everything that happened in the discussion. He basically just tells her, yeah, they're just focusing more on playing tag. And then this scene is kind of to reaffirm that yes, he is in fact the traitor. He's having a discussion with Mom, and Mom's telling him, hey, what's up? What's going on? And then Ray also reveals in the discussion that the reason that Mom brought the sister in, Sister Crone, was also to keep tabs on him. So like at this point, it's kind of like this web. It's really awesome. There's like a web of connections of people that trust each other, but also don't trust each other at the same time. It's like when Sister Crone was brought on, she was kind of the wild card for, we'll say, the bad guys, Mom's side. But now we've revealed that Ray is the wild card for the kids, the good side. So we've got wild cards of all different types here, and they're all connected in some interesting way. And I just want to give compliments to the show. This is just drawing me even deeper into this Promised Neverland, because I want to know what's going to happen next. Like, this is definitely some Death Note level shit. It might even be more complex than that because of the fact that there's more than two characters at work trying to outsmart each other. Yeah,
I mean, even if you factor in, this whole thing in general, that's a web on its own. Like, the mystery of the outside world, the people that Mom's working for, this mysterious force. It's like there's so many mysteries, and with so many webs in between, you can't figure out who's on whose side, what they're up to, and what's going to happen next.
Yeah. And so the next scene we have Norman having a nightmare, and he's about to escape with everyone, and then he's like, oh shit, he turns around and everyone's dead. And I guess that's just show that Norman is afraid that whatever plan he has in action is probably not going to work.
Do you take Norman as a person that worries and dreams like that about things that go wrong?
Yeah, I think so. He's just a kid, after all.
I guess so. I take him in, give him more credit than needed.
Yeah, I mean, I think he plays off as being a cool-headed guy, which he is. But he's human. He's not perfect. I think it's more interesting that he's like this, to be honest. I think if he was just this cool, stone-faced guy the whole time, he would have very little depth to him. But I liked seeing him worry. I like seeing him sweat a little bit because in fact he is against basically two intellectual giants at this point, and one of them he's not sure if he can trust yet. I think he's not sure if he can trust Norman yet, or Ray. Sorry. Anyways, he has a nightmare. He's woken up. Everyone's having breakfast and saying good morning and all that, and then the trio, the original trio, Emma, Norman, and Ray, go off into the woods and they have a little discussion. And Emma wants a status update on this, on what happened with the ropes. Wants to find out who the traitor is. And Ray outright says, "I'm the traitor." And Emma's like, "What? What the hell? What happened? What?" And then basically Norman explains to her that he's the traitor, but not the enemy. And it's at this point that Emma does what she does best, and she brings a very, I guess, humanizing element, some heart back into the story. Because up until now, we've had some cold, analytical, logical moves that have been played by Norman and Ray, and Emma's really the heart of the show. And so she comes in and she's like, "Oh man, like you knew for 6 years? That's tough. Like you were all alone. You couldn't say anything with all those kids being brought about." And I forgot to mention this, but early in the conversation between Ray and Norman, Ray says, "Yes, I did find a way to deactivate these tracking devices. I've seen one." And actually, he doesn't explain how he saw one, because I would think that if he's asking for rewards from Mama wouldn't just give him a tracking device. But Emma kind of reveals how perhaps he saw one. She basically says, "You didn't, in finding out how to deactivate these tracking devices, you didn't experiment on anyone, did you? You didn't, experiment on any kids and harm them to get them shipped out earlier, did you, Ray?" And then Ray's like, But Emma's like, "No, don't tell me. I don't want to know. It's probably for the best." But I think he was definitely capable of doing that. That's probably how he found out about the tracking devices.
I mean,
doing surgery on little kids.
So I don't know if this is my one complaint about the show, and I don't think it's like a huge complaint. It's just sometimes I want to see some normalcy in things. It just seems like the kids always come up with the right answers all the time. And I know I said earlier that I give them too much credit when they are just kids, but sometimes I want them to just figure things out and not think of every answer. Like literally, Emma just gave us like suspicion of how he figured out the tracking devices. I would like for it to either be more organic or, maybe we go into a flashback or something. We see him. Maybe it was just another student or another kid that he was watching and it just happened. He didn't have to be a part of it. But because Emma threw that out into the world, that Ray was the cause of this guy being turned in early because he figured out the tracking devices, that must be the answer then, because these kids are just, I don't know.
I still think the door is open for that not being the answer, because she does say, "Never mind, don't tell me." So Ray doesn't outright confirm it. I mean, you can take it as the show heavily implying, "Oh yeah, that's exactly what he did." But I still think I think the show is smart enough not to give us, direct answers all the time. It's a possibility that is the right answer, but I think I want to give respect and credit to the show that maybe they didn't do that. Maybe there's a different way. Because like I said, if my theory is correct that he's actually Mom's traitor through and through, then it's possible that he knew about. Well, actually, I was gonna say it's possible that he just found the tracker just because he was a spy of Mom, but actually Mom suspects him of being a spy, so she wouldn't just give him a tracker. So never mind what I said. So yeah, he probably would have found a tracker through the kids.
Well, I think
Maybe. I don't know.
he would have probably found it on his own, because all the kids have that bump on their ear until they're about 10 years old, and then it goes away, or like skin grows over. I don't really know how it works, but he would have found out because they're all 13, right? So he would have found
12, I think.
12 or 13,
11, I don't know.
So he would have been 6 or 7 when he did figure out about the truth. And I guess if he was as smart as kid as he was now, he could put 2 and 2 together that everyone has this bump on their ear at the time. That's probably the tracking device. Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is Emma was right. That's how he found the tracking device, is by experimenting on kids.
I mean, I guess so, but I don't want the answer just thrown at me in this weird possibility.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the door's still open. There could be another answer. But
I guess
we'll
so.
see.
I mean, I do like the overall mystery of things anyway, but sometimes they just throw the answer at me. And I know it's good because they don't have to waste time like building things up. We just find out next episode. But I still like a little bit of mystery in things too.
I think this show has plenty of mystery to be had. I mean, we're having theories every single week, essentially.
I guess it's true.
I'm happy with what we have, basically.
Okay.
Anyways, at the end of that little conversation, Emma's like, "Don't do that ever again. No more experimenting on kids. Bad, Ray." And Ray's like, "Okay." And then in the distance, Dawn and Gilda are watching from underneath the tree, and they're like, "Oh, they're talking about a lot of stuff here. I wonder if they're talking about more than the fact that we're in danger." And they're kind of catching on that, like, maybe they're in the dark on some things. At least that's what Gilda is suggesting. And then on the way back to the house, Emma's running ahead of them, and Ray and Norman are like having a little small conversation. Ray's like, "Oh yeah, she sure was mad." And then Norman was like, "Well, you said that you did all this for us, right? For so the two of us don't get killed." But he's like, "Are you actually doing this because?" And then Emma cuts him off. Here's what I think. I think Norman was going to ask him, "Are you actually doing this for Emma?" I think that Ray likes Emma also. And actually, Ray only cares if Emma lives, and probably kind of cares about Norman, but is more or less doing it for Emma's sake.
I mean, it makes sense because it represents the two sides of the coin, where Norman wants Emma's happiness and Ray wants Emma's survival. Like, he wants to increase the chance of her surviving, and
It's the same thing.
Yeah. So I like that theory. I mean, I don't really know what else he could be asking in that instance.
Yeah, and it tosses in a love triangle, adds another complication, really adds in the whole, like, Norman's the light side and then Ray's the dark side, colored by their hair. Always look at the hair for anime. But yeah, at the end of all that sequence, it represents what I think is going to happen in the show ultimately, is that Emma's purpose in the show is childlike innocence and hope and belief in people, ultimately. So I think whether Norman and Ray end up actually working together is wholly dependent on Emma. Like, Emma's probably going to inspire Ray and be like, "Hey, actually be a good guy. Don't be a real traitor. We can actually do this and survive with everyone," kind of thing. Like, she's going to be kind of the impetus to make sure that her plan actually goes through. Because right now, Ray doesn't have faith that the plan can work. And Norman only is going along with the plan for Emma's sake. But I think Emma's going to be the one to actually instill that belief in them and will be the reason why, that the plan actually works. That the two great intellects actually work together instead of trying to go their own ways. I think that's
I guess so, but
that's her purpose.
I mean, it's hard to visualize this because I'm never going to be in this situation. But most of the time, love triangles are trying to win over the girl to where, I don't know, they would be the only ones to escape together. And you wouldn't include your rival into, like, running away with you. But then again, they're both, like you said, they're both intellectuals, so they probably want to rely on each other's intellect and strengths to actually make it out and survive. So I guess the romance part could be put on the back burner if they all survive this.
Yeah, then they could fight each other when they all survive on the outside.
Yeah. So, okay.
And Emma interrupts them right as Norman is about to say what I think he was about to say. We don't know yet. Emma says, "I have something to report." And so now we have a meeting back in the house with Ray, Norman, Emma, and Dawn and Gilda. And essentially, Emma and Gilda have discovered an interesting thing. They discovered that Mama disappears at around a certain time at night, and she always goes off into I think they said her bedroom or something like that, or her office. And they did some measurement thingies, and essentially the conclusion they came up with was that there is a hidden room in her office. And to us, the audience, that's kind of it's already we already kind of knew about that. We saw her communicating with the outside world using some strange device.
But there's a hints of it. Like, you can, in previous episodes, you could see Emma counting her steps as she's walking through the hallways.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I was wondering what she was doing.
Little details. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how she says she ends up measuring the length of the room, and compares it to, I guess, how many steps she takes or whatever. I don't know. But essentially, yes, there's a secret room. And then Dawn is immediately like, "Well, we should go into the secret room."
Dumb.
Because, we need to, because they talk about how there's a communication device in there. And Dawn's like, "We should go into this room and communicate with the outside world and find out where Connie is. We got to do this, guys." And then Ray is like, no, that's stupid because the risk is too high. We might get caught. You know, this is probably only a one-way communication to their headquarters, and there's not much merit to doing this. And then Dawn's all like, huh. And then Ray's like, go set up dinner. And then Dawn's like, I know. And so Dawn and Gilda go off. And immediately Dawn is like, I'm not going to set up dinner. I'm going to go to the hidden room.
Stupid. So, okay, let me ask you this question. What time is it when they do this?
It's dinner time.
Which, I don't know what dinner. Is that 6 o'clock? 8 o'clock? Because
it varies.
She goes at 8 o'clock, right?
It wouldn't be, well, yeah, I don't think it's 8 o'clock.
Okay.
It's about dusk, as you can see in the shot.
Okay.
It's just before they go inside. There's still sun out.
And it's October, so it's probably like 5, 6 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. I'm just making sure that they weren't finding this room.
That they're not going to bump into her right in the middle of her being in the office.
Yeah, because, I mean, the other thing is if she's only gone from that room at 8 o'clock, can they ever guarantee that she's not going to just walk in? It's so stupid.
Well, I mean, that's the point.
I know.
The point is letting other people in on your plan that aren't geniuses like you are going to do dumb, rash things.
It's fun.
So,
funny, I was complaining about them giving me all the answers and that I give them too much credit because they're intellectuals. But when you let regular kids do shit, they always mess up.
So what do you want? Do you want smart kids or do you want dumb kids?
No, I mean, I like the balance between both. I should say that because it does show that not every kid on here is a genius.
Yeah. So Don
but they're also idiots.
He's understandably upset and rash because he thinks Connie's still alive. And in prior episodes, in the first episode specifically, you saw that Don and Connie were like besties. They're best friends. So Don wants to find out where the hell Connie is, so he goes straight to the office. And Gilda's there too to support Don, I guess. I guess they're a pair, like, Don and Gilda. Dilda?
Ew.
Dilda. Yeah, that's their thing. That's their name. They go into the office, and eventually they find the passageway to the secret room. And then the door to the office opens. And who is it? Find out next time. That's the end of the episode.
They also found the door, and
That's what I said.
Oh, it was locked, right? You said that.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, so yeah, they opened the doorway, which is behind a bookshelf, typical, I know, and behind that is a door which is locked. Yeah, didn't mention that, but yeah, that's the end of the episode. Who do you think opened the door?
My guess is Ray, because he knows
that they're gonna do something dumb.
Yeah, because they're idiots. I mean, it would be very awful if it was Mom. Man.
Okay. Here's my theory. This show likes to throw us for a loop, and it likes connecting webs and dots and all that.
Oh, so you think it's Sister Crone?
I think it's gonna be Sister Crone, and Sister Crone's gonna strike a deal with Dilda, and then we're gonna have some extra complications. So like, right now the show is layering like people against each other in odd ways, and we haven't seen much of Sister Crone in the past couple episodes or so.
Yeah.
So I think she needs something to do. Let's bring her in and have her be the one to reel, because she already tried with Gilda trying to reel her into the plan, but with Dawn, maybe
she'll lie and say I can help you free Connie.
Yeah, because her motivation at the end of the day is to become a mom no matter what, and basically throw the actual mom under the bus. So yeah, she's gonna try and find allies where she can get them, and Dawn is probably gonna fall for it.
I mean, I don't know.
It should be awesome. Be interesting.
I mean, it will be interesting. It's just, why would any of those kids trust any adults? It just baffles me. But you're right. He seems dumb enough because he's dumb enough to walk into her room. Mm-hmm. That he's dumb enough to get a deal with Sister Crone. So I like that theory. Yeah. I really hope it's not her, and I think
you just want it to be Ray.
I just want it to be Ray, where they get scolded and they're like, "You guys are idiots. What if I was Mom?" Like,
that's too typical, man.
I know it's too typical, but I just don't want any more complications, man.
Is this being too complex for you?
No, I just want them to. This
is a big brain show. You got to keep up.
No. What I want is I want to actually see them escape, with all these loops and these webs and different things going on. I feel like we're never ever going to see them escape, and I want to see them before the end of the season. I want to see them try. Who knows?
I don't know. I am not sure if they're actually going to get to the escape by the end of the season. I hope so, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways, is there anything else you guys would like to talk about the episode?
I just had a quick question about the title of the show. Mm-hmm. What do you think the title of the show is trying to do? Do
Well,
you think it's ironic, or do you think it's like that?
The Promised Neverland.
Or do you think that's what they like? That's what they hope to achieve. Like that's the goal.
I think that's the goal. They're trying to get to. Or, I don't know. You could take it as the Promised Neverland. The Neverland being, the outside world, and it could be that when they escape to the outside world, it's just more of this shit that they have to go through. The Neverland. They have to make another escape past the farm.
Yeah, or
keep on
like
escaping.
I guess because Neverland has two implications where like the Neverland of Peter Pan or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
like Neverland Ranch.
You never grow. No, not that one. You're thinking of the wrong thing. No one wants to go to the Neverland Ranch.
Isn't that the point?
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what the show is going for. No, I'm talking about Peter Pan Neverland, where you never grow up and you can live your dreams out. But maybe Neverland literally means never land. Like there never is a land. The Promised Neverland is never ever gonna happen.
Wouldn't that be a twist?
Yeah.
It's all a dream.
Well, no, I don't know about dream. It's just like the Promised Neverland is supposed to be good, but it's a Neverland. Like it's not gonna be good. And
Like Peter Pan.
No. It's
like
just
Neverland
gonna be
Ranch?
bad. No, yeah, it's gonna be bad like Neverland Ranch.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Coby, would you like to sign us off? Oh yeah, hey, thanks guys for bringing me back on the show here. I didn't really get my 2 cents in. I just want to say I liked the episode. Yeah, if you like watching this, just go, go check out our channel. We are Nerd Blaze. We got some weekly episode reviews. We talked about Young Justice recently, and we do this Promised Neverland review each week. So check in next time. And we also talk about sports anime if you're into that thing. So yeah, go check out our YouTube channel. Please like and comment. We do read all your comments, and we enjoy reading them. So please, let's have a little discussion, huh? Okay, well, thanks, guys. Yeah, that's it. All right, thanks, Coby. See ya.
Bye.